Oh my God. Yeah. But I mean, talking about Steph Curry a little, unless you had more to go into,
No, no, no.
because there's been a lot of issues in clearly the last three games. And I mean, this is something we were kind of preaching going into the series and why we thought, I mean, we both predicted that um, the series would be over by now. No, I said Warriors in six. That might be right. But but like I was saying, something that the Kings, well, the biggest question mark was the Kings defense going into the series, and it looked good the first two games, but man, the Warriors just seem to be eating the Kings alive on the offensive end lately. And I mean, specifically, just looking at the pick and roll situation with Steph Curry and Looney or Draymond, it's it just feels like an automatic dunk on the weak side every time. If you don't know what I'm referencing, just you know, Looney sets the screen for Curry. Usually Sabonis or Len, who's ever the center, has to double Steph so he doesn't have a wide open three. While the guard, usually Mitchell or Fox, works around the screen, and then Looney leaks out, and then who's ever the weak side defender has to come guard Looney, and then the guy on the wing just has a wide open dunk, and Looney just dishes it to him. And it's funny because Looney, and we were talking about Sabonis kind of struggling, Looney's actually out rebounding and out assisting Sabonis this series so far. And I mean, he's getting all those assists because of that play right there. But that's clearly just been a huge issue, and this Kings cannot seem to stop it. Do you have any solutions to this, John?
Well, just to preface it, I mean, like Fox said after the game, this team has been doing that for so long. They draw the double. Curry, Clay, even Jordan Poole, they'll draw the double. You can look at the recap on capcitycrown.com and you can get a taste for some of these examples. And they hit the roller and they have that 2-on-1 situation on the back end. And I don't know if the Kings stopped them once in that situation.
I don't even know how you try to stop them. Honestly,
You can't. Like you see either Barnes or Murray, there's the low man, and all of a sudden it's just like, well, either I'm going to guard this guy or he's going to pass it to this guy. I mean, like
yeah,
it's 2-on-1. It's just the odds are
it's
not in your
useless.
favor
Yeah,
in any way. And so, like, what's the solution to that? I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe because it's weird. It did not seem like they ate the Kings alive with that play as much in the other games. It felt like it's happened here and there. It's been a few times. I think when it's shifted to Golden State, you saw it a little bit more. But it just seemed like last night the floodgates opened in that department, especially because the Warriors, like the Kings, shot below 30% from three. But solutions to that? Either force the Warriors into taking a three and hope they miss, which you don't do, or maybe try to play smaller. I mean, I don't know. That's because it's not even like the big man is the issue there. Because like no
no.
matter who's there is going to be, you have to double and step up on those kinds of shooters. And
Mm-hmm. Or you don't double and you just switch, like you said, and go small, and then let the guard just make sure Looney doesn't catch a clean pass, and so the low
yeah,
man can at least stay on his man on the wing
yeah. I mean,
or in the corner.
that's the only solution at that point. I mean,
If it gets that bad again, I mean, I just think you have to bring in like Metu, and it's because I mean he's the only guy center capable of playing on the perimeter. Or I think you were saying earlier before the podcast, Kessler Edwards maybe use him as like a power forward or something.
I
I
mean,
don't know.
if you're gonna go small, you might as well just go small. Like go
Yeah,
real small. Like screw Metu. Go with KE. I mean,
okay, yeah, I wouldn't mind
it's
him on
just.
staff. I mean, it'd be a good switch.
I mean, you're honestly what we're talking about here is the Warriors just they're gonna force Kings into swarm mode and scramble mode, and if that's gonna be the case, you're gonna have a far better opportunity scrambling at that back end 2-on-1 disadvantage. You know, if you have mobile players and Edwards is versatile and lengthy enough to make an impact. Would it be a sure thing? No, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like you kind of gotta. I mean, like, is Mike Brown going to stick with the same 9 guys in this game? I don't imagine so. I think you're going to see Kessler Edwards in a little bit more of a role outside of just closing out a quarter for a few seconds to, be on the defensive end. Or you might see Terrence Davis, but that kind of goes more towards the keeping your fingers crossed on the 3-point shooting, because Terrence Davis is a earnest defender, but sometimes his efforts don't always pay off. But I don't know. I mean, like Metu, maybe. I mean, you have to think about that first time they played the Warriors, and Metu went out there for the fourth quarter and basically earned his colors for the season and his opportunity to get, chances at the backup five by being able to allow the Kings to switch. But it's just like, is there no momentum behind? I mean, like, is he going to just be able to come in and make an impact? It's the playoffs. See, I don't think Metu's ever been in the playoffs. He's only played mop-up time so far in this series. So it's just like, I don't know. Zeroing in on one solution is difficult. I think you're right. You just kind of have to throw the kitchen sink at him at this point. I mean, do you have any hunches? Do you think it is kind of a, do you see less of Lin in this game? Do you even see less of Sabonis? Because if we're talking about Sabonis being limited as a passer, I mean, it's not even like he's dominating the boards either, to be fair.
Yeah. I don't think you see less of Sabonis, unfortunately.
No, I don't think you will either.
Unfortunately, he's Sabonis.
Right.
I mean, if anything, I think, I think maybe Lin, unfortunately, gets the boot. I mean, I think he's been playing well. I really like Alex Lin, but they need to at least go a little smaller in this series because clearly the double's not working on the shooter. They need a guy who can actually switch and not feel like he's a liability out there on the switch. Whether that be Edwards or Metu or whoever. This is where I really wish Rashawn Holmes wasn't just a total liability when he's out there, because I feel like he's a guy who's shown that he could, make the switch onto guards and actually defend them pretty decently. So I think he would have been a really good player to help solve this issue. But
also, just to interrupt you on Holmes, like Holmes' push shot could probably be a game changer on the offensive end too.
It really
because you just think about all the open space there at the free throw line.
That's so true. Hey, maybe we see some Holmes action. I doubt it, but
yeah, I doubt it too.
Watch Holmes just have like a redemption arc just in Game 6. That'd be crazy.
He just starts every game for the rest of the playoffs. Kings go to the championship. Monty
Game
McNair
6
trades,
rich.
Trades Sabonis back to Indiana.
Holmes he's just the new center again. That's why you should never bench me. But really, I don't know. It was if that happens again in Game 6, well, I guess we won't be having a Game 7. That's all I can say. That was absolutely awful to watch. You're just like it's funny just watching like Murray Barnes down there.
Yeah, I was going through the tape last night. It's just there was this one. It was one of the times where Looney didn't even have to pass it because it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna take it to the rim, and you can see Barnes kind of like starting back and forth because he got Green to his right, and then he has like Looney up in front of him to his left. He's just like, what do I do? And then Looney had just too much space. Yeah. There's another one where Murray came up and he was gonna like take a charge, and I think Looney kicked it out just to right where Murray had come from to GP2 on the corner coming down the baseline. And it's just like, well, shit. It's just nothing. It was just like kind of funny to see Murray there in that like, let me take the charge position, no contact at all, just a layup going up over his head.
Yeah, that was really rough.
That's a high movement. We talked about it coming into this series. This team is high movement, both in player movement and ball movement. And last night was the worst case scenario for that in terms of the Kings' perspective. It was beautiful to watch in one way, but it was also just painful to watch as well from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah.